It's the podcast.
Too far. That's
Too
a
far?
bad way to open. That's a bad way for me to
All right,
open.
let's turn it down.
Let's just bring it back.
Undo. Hold on. Does
Ooh, am I
Control Z
focused?
work live?
Yep.
Got it.
Ooh, I just thought of my hypothetical.
Oh,
All right.
nice.
You better not use anything related to that. That's a great one.
That is a good one. I'm with you. I already know where it's headed. All right.
You already know where I'm going to go with it. I'll formulate it by the end of it. Welcome, everybody, to episode 5. Per tradition, every 5th episode, we always wear hats. Everybody knows that. That's why we both have hats on today. Yeah, I don't think we've ever missed that, right? It's every
It's
fifth
every
episode?
5th. It's been a tradition since the beginning, since we started. So it will continue. Hopefully, honestly, I've swapped out hats every time. We've got a new one each time. So hope you guys enjoy that.
Same here. Yeah, I say that and then like.
Yeah,
5
did we just
episodes
commit
from now-
ourselves to buying more hats?
Yeah, I don't want to do that at all. Maybe that's how we plug merch eventually at some point when we get merch.
Ooh, you're onto something.
I love it. Yeah. What a great tradition. In other news, our other podcast episodes are all posted as of last week. I think last weekend, actually, which is exciting times. And when I say all, I mean all except episode 0. I don't think we're going to ever post that one. That was before it was even called this time last week.
Yeah, it was the Josh and Will podcast. So
Yeah.
if you happen to know where the secret channel is, where that video lives, feel free to find that video and watch it.
It's probably surprisingly easy.
That's fair.
If
As
you
of
look at
right
the
now,
4
it's easy.
subscribers.
But if
Yeah,
you're coming
as of
to
this
us
point.
like 3 years in the future, when we're like, a few hundred episodes in, obviously.
A few hundred episodes and 60 hats in.
That's 61/5. I don't know. Okay, yeah, that's right.
That's right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so we have a mediocre episode for you today. We're going to kick it off as we do with our hypotheticals. And Josh, you get to lead us. Lead the way.
You ready? I need you to stretch.
Oh, God.
Wanna
I've
do some
stretched
stretches?
so much. I've stretched the whole day for this moment.
Good. Okay. You're a gymnast. No, you're not a gymnast. I'm just kidding. But
And where's the hypothetical?
yeah, this is real life. So you are the world's best magician. You can do anything as a magician. All of your magicianal acts, I don't know if that's like a correct phrase, but all the things that you could do as a magician are only applicable to objects and things. You can't do them to people. So you can't turn an actual person into a bird or something. But you can interact with animals, just not humans. It's not people. You can perform magicianal acts. Sounds like medicinal. I'm totally making that word up, but
Magicianal is not a word.
I like it. I'm coining it. I'm calling Webster after this. But you don't know how any of your tricks work at all. So you genuinely can't explain them. You have no, you can think of what you want a thing to be. And let's say 50% of the time, that's the actual magic that you do. That's the thing that occurs. But the other half of the time, other magic occurs that you weren't expecting. And you just have to kind of roll with the punches. So it's always great. You're the world's best magician. You're always thinking of new stuff, but you don't have any clue how any of it works. And you're not really in charge of what the end product of your magic is or does. You with me?
I maybe. Keep going.
Would you want this power, this ability?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Immediately, yes. And then, okay. And that's great, because the second part is how would you apply it to life?
Yeah. I have a lot of follow-up questions because I need to make sure I understand.
This wasn't well thought out on my behalf. So,
all right. So I'm a magician that can do all the traditional things of sawing people in half.
Nope,
or
no
making
people.
people disappear.
No people.
I know. Let me clarify. So I could do all the traditional magician tricks, but it can't be done to people. It can be done to other things.
when you go to do the traditional magician tricks, that's not what actually happens. It's completely different stuff. what you intend to happen isn't what actually happens, but it is magic and it's cool as shit to your audience.
You know, I told you this would be a mediocre episode, and we're living up to that bar. So I have no control over my tricks. Is that what we're getting? Is this like first year Harry Potter style? Like how they don't really know what they're doing?
Sure. It's not like Leviosa versus Leviosa or whatever it is, but because they kind of had control. You don't.
So
you want to do magic.
I could say I'm gonna cut this rabbit in half, and then instead of it getting cut,
you cut it in thirds.
Would disappear. Oh, so it does still get cut.
That's really boring. No, but maybe like you can't explain what you're going to do. You can't say, I'm going to cut this rabbit in half, because then when you do it, it turns into like a grasshopper, or it's something crazy, like it turns into an airplane.
I could monetize this is really what it's going to come down to.
You're 100% right.
It sounds like I can, and so for that fact, I'm going to, and I'm going to take the. I could control
but crazy
it to
things
the
can
level
happen.
Of like, I was just going to say like I can control it to the level of like I can just choose to do nothing, right?
Correct. You can engage whether you're doing magic or not doing magic, but you have no control over the output of it.
Yeah. Yes.
And so not only are you in, what you're saying is you quit everything you're doing, quit your job. You don't care, like, and you become a full-time magician. This isn't like you're not saying like, randomly at, cocktail parties, because, you go to those. You're just like trying to do cool things to like level yourself up. You want to use it as a superhero power.
I want to use it as not a superhero power, but like as a I can now have this very lucrative career with probably very little work on my end. That's how I see it.
I'll tell you this. I've never known, granted, I don't follow a ton of magicians, but I've never known one that like the magician's life ended in like a happy thing. Maybe it's only because we hear about the negative things that happen to people, but
I stalk like
how many magicians do you know have
retired
and have lived the happy life in retirement? Maybe they're out there.
I've not known a single magician, so I'm not a good data point. I've heard of Houdini and Penn and Teller are doing pretty good. Penn and Teller are doing great.
Oh, that's fair.
Those guys have a great show, and then all the guys that show up on their shows on the what's it called? It's called like F It or something like that. I don't know what it is. It's kind of a cool show though. They have to Fool Us. That's what it's called. FU Fool Us.
Oh, Fool Us. Got it.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid show. So yeah, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna go on Fool Us. They're gonna hire me into their Vegas show. I'll get my career going from there. And
you won't be able to tell the producers what you're doing. I think that might cost you.
The part of my shtick will be I'm dead silent the whole time on the stage.
Okay, I like it.
And I think that's yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna practice that the rest of this podcast too.
Okay. That's more than mediocre. That's genuinely unentertaining. Actually, maybe it is entertaining. I don't know. I told you this is a podcast where I was going to let you talk more, so we're both going to sit here in silence.
That would be so great. Just 90 minutes of dead silence. So yeah, I accept. How about you? Are you taking this power?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I would take it. I would not full stop my life and career for it. I think I would do it more in the realm of like gaining momentum externally, like doing it for fun.
Mm-hmm. You'd be recreational powers. That would be kind of fun to do it.
Like imagine like having kids and they're like, you know how you do like little magic things or like the thumb thing where you're like losing your thumb or whatever, but like genuinely you don't have fingers for your kids. Like,
you just explode a cat on command. Like, that's not what I intended to do. But
that childhood would be those children like as adults that would ruin them like 100%.
Yeah. That'd be pretty funny though. So yes, I accept it.
Right.
I'll take it.
I would take it too. I'd be a little more low key, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mediocre
All
hypothetical.
right.
What's the next mediocre topic?
Mediocre starting topic. Let's start with bunker homes. This is yours, but I'm gonna assume that it has to do with like the cyber bunker, the Tesla cyber bunker. That's the one I'm familiar with, but I'll let you expand on it.
It actually doesn't have to do with that in any capacity whatsoever.
Fantastic.
God. Okay. So have you done any bunker home research beyond, I guess, what sounds like the Tesla version? I feel like you like Tesla more than I do. It's kind of weird, but go ahead.
It might be weird. I like bunkers in terms of like kind of like end of the world style ones where.
No. Yeah. End of the world. Sorry. Yes. Apocalypse. Like that's their intention.
Yeah. Like I've seen a couple. There's a couple that even went up for sale like around here that had like a really awesome like kind of basement, and that was intended to kind of serve as like a bunker that had like a bulletproof, blast-proof room in it, which was cool. And then they had like shelves of food and stuff down there too. So yes, somewhat.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, kind of the almost borderline exponential rise in popularity of them. Maybe they're just getting more exposed, but typically you think of folks that kind of have a bunker and have like all of this preparation, or they're like crazy preppers. I think there was like a TV show called like Doomsday Preppers or something a while back. Everybody thinks of them as crazy, but then you look at the market for like doomsday bunkers and bunker homes and things like that, like old military, like missile silos turned homes. It is there is an economy built around bunker homes. And full on companies that like buy cities in random rural areas to block out squares, just like a land of suburbia, but under the pretenses of we're going to mass produce bunker homes for millionaires or billionaires, or even people who are just like a little bit more worried than others, and that's where they want to prioritize their resources. So
like millionaires, billionaires, or just like thousandaires, like anybody. Or cats.
Yeah,
we're back to cats.
Cats are building bunkers left and right.
I have an obsession with cats today, apparently.
When did we talk about cats? Oh, cats blowing up. That's right.
Cats.
Where are we going with cats? So I mean, I'll share this. Like, sorry about all the ads, but here's just I randomly searched like bunkers, and this was like affordable bunkers to survive the apocalypse. Apparently huge bunker environment in Indiana, state of Indiana. Yeah.
35 grand. That's
what I'm saying. So and again, thousandaires, cats. It's affordable. It's whoever. But they have just tons of different ways. Apparently this Vivos company is a very large one that kind of specializes in affordable bunker type homes. But the full design, everything you want, all of your creature comforts and everything like that, and just like a small like $40,000 to $60,000 package. Where I mean, honestly, like if you're in an apocalyptic scenario, I mean, maybe these people live close, but how many people in Kansas are there really? Or are in Indiana that like have this nearby?
Right.
If nukes are going out, it's happening all at once. It's not like oh, okay, over the next 6 months we have one nuke per week or per 2 weeks. Like every 5 business days one goes out or something. I don't think that's how it would work. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Or I'm sure there's a small amount of people that just live in these things permanently. I'm sure there's some other stipulations around it, but I just think it's crazy.
It is kind of, they're kind of neat. I mean, like I didn't realize they were that cheap, honestly. Like I haven't researched them a lot. Like it's just kind of, I like watching, like it's just kind of like a YouTube hobby of like people that are doing their own, right? Like that's like one of the topics that I'll occasionally, watch for like a month at a time or something like that. And then I'll move on to something else. But it's kind of neat. Like I kind of like, I would like to just build one just for fun. Like I don't even like it, to me, it's almost less of the, doing it because you think the world's gonna end, or you think that a nuke's gonna come or something like that. It's more of just like it's kind of fun to build and be like, and it has a practicality to it. Things do take a turn for the worse. So there's like a safety aspect of it.
Yeah, no,
That's how it is for me.
You're definitely right. And if someone was like, Josh, do you want to bunker home?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I'll get just two. I'll just take two.
Just two. I mean, put food in one, water in the other. I don't know. No, I think I actually would want those things combined. But two, I couldn't think of a single use case for having two.
Cats. Too soon. It's too many. It's too
Stop
many.
with the cats.
That would have been funny in like 20 minutes if we forgot about cats, but I did it too soon.
Yeah, it was. Okay. Now there's also back in the millionaire billionaire land, where, and I alluded to it earlier, like old missile silos converted to these types of homes. And this isn't like, okay, this is where I go in the event of apocalypse, and I wait it out. I wait a couple weeks, and I have all the food and supplies I need to survive for the 2 weeks, and I come back up. There are entire, like, almost like a city.
Yeah.
Type.
Like a full-blown community.
Yeah, like we're going there to have generations of people to live for many years, with like medical facilities, with like recreational facilities. Like there's one here that has like a swimming pool built into it, with like full-on movie theater type things. There's grocery stores with all of the supplies built in with the grocery stores that are underground, a rock climbing wall, like some like other type of activities, a little fake golf thing.
Got a bunker in the bunker.
Yeah, like, seriously. Wow. Yeah, they have a bunker in their bunker. And they'll also have like shooting ranges and other things. So, you're really doomsday prepping. And, full on camera feeds with everything outside the property. I think there was one picture in here that was like the elevator to, this is like.
Look at what that clearly is.
Yeah.
Classic.
Like 20 different floors. Oh, that was it.
It is. I mean, somebody got you good.
That's a good point. I mean, this is probably just physically what it looks like. Like this is a missile dome, and then you have the missile, and then you have like an actual dome over the top at the surface level. But
I think we're about to be taken off of YouTube.
Understood.
Blur it.
No. Okay. So yeah, there's like 17 levels here. You got me really distracted. I'm just looking at the penis here.
The moment I saw it, I didn't even see an elevator thing. Yeah, that's dick. Like immediately.
You have a problem.
I have a problem.
Okay. Oh, whoops. I see the entire time my personal email has been up at the top right here. Great. Okay. We'll blur that out of the permanent one. In any case, there's an economy built around doomsday prepping. Have you ever heard of the I think it's called the Seed Vault in Norway? No, this is not another penis joke. Have you heard of it?
No, I have not.
There is a.
Oh, wait. Is it so that you can grow stuff?
Explain.
Seed. Can you? I'm guessing you can so I'm thinking of the Tesla Cyberbunker. The top layer of it has it where you can grow a bunch of like your own crops and stuff. So I'm gonna guess the seed enables you to do that. Am I wrong?
Seeds enable you to grow things. Yes.
You just defined seeds for me. Thank you. I was curious about that.
I mean, that's all I got out of that, Will.
I'm guessing that's why they called it the seed bunker, is because its intent is to be able to grow stuff in it. Like
not in it.
Not
in it. It is not a greenhouse. It is intentionally. Again, I think it's in Norway. I'm not entirely sure. But it is literally frozen in the side of a mountain, intentionally kept at like negative 40 degrees Celsius or something crazy. And it contains as many different unique samples of different seeds and different generations and different DNA of, or not necessarily DNA, but different, just like all different seed types across the entire planet. It's kind of like the library. What's the main library in like Congress that has, or in Washington D.C.? It's no, I'm saying Rosetta Stone. I'm gonna sound like an idiot in this entire podcast. Come on, it's got like petabytes of data of library where they try to keep every single book that has ever existed.
I'm gonna go with the Thurston local library. That's the one that was in next to the house that I grew up in.
Oh, this just says Library of Congress. Is that correct?
No, the lock. Yeah, it's the lock.
Stop it.
It is.
What is the name of the thing? I just said Library of Everything. It says Library of Babel. That's a short story, so that's not what it is. Okay, well, I'll figure that out later. But it's the same concept. We want to capture all the different species of plants or of seeds that exist across the entire planet, so we catalog them. So let's say an apocalypse does happen. Let's say there is nuclear fallout and we lose corn as we know it, like has happened historically. We lose the ingredients for how we make corn, or how we grow wheat, or how we grow other types of like soybeans, and just like all of these staples of modern agriculture that can like perpetuate life on Earth. So the intention is kind of to preserve all of those in this like seed library, and it's a bunker. That's exactly what it is. I don't know. I think it's a really cool idea and thing that's all like publicly and nationally or internationally supported. And I think it's cool. I love it when there's like planet stuff that everybody kind of works on. It's one of my favorite things.
Disney World has like a thing like that in the boat. When you go on the boat and you see all the different things that they're like growing on their own.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's intended to be kind of like that, right? Like it's them.
This is not. It's
the same. It's the exact same.
It's not a green.
Yeah, shot for shot, same location. Mickey Mouse is in the Library of Congress one.
I'm just gonna put this hat over my face for the rest of the podcast. Every fifth episode sucks, is what we're learning.
Is it 52 after the hour? Because that's what we're supposed to do.
What we're supposed
Tradition.
Stop making traditions. We're gonna forget them. Oh, well.
I can't wait. I'm gonna bring that one back up. 52 minutes after the hour.
So
hats down.
Speaking of reasons that we would have bunkers, over the previous
slick. Nice.
Thanks. Over the previous 3 to 6 months, a lot of I'll say alien related activity has unraveled out of our government. That's why I brought my NASA shirt and my US hat.
And I'm wearing my moon shirt. It just looks like the moon.
It looks like the moon.
The surface of it.
So have you tracked any of kind of the release of documentation and kind of open comms on?
I know like I think the narrative was like, we're going to declassify a lot of the stuff that's currently classified. I think that's about what I got. And I know there were like videos and stuff that were made like public, and I know there was one that was like debunked as like, no, it's just like a light. That's just like the light effect that you get from camera lenses. But that was just one, and so I don't know. I don't have the other one. So that is the entire context that I have on it.
Okay. So are you familiar with the show 60 Minutes? It's been around for a little while.
I've heard of it. Yes.
Have you ever watched a 60 Minutes episode?
I've seen clips and stuff on TV. I don't know if I've watched.
I feel like that's
one.
Everybody's like interpretation of 60 Minutes. Nobody sits there for the 60 minutes. They literally it's just snips of what was cool or important from it.
Is it even good? Like what I've seen of it,
it's actually pretty good. It's investigative journalism. Like it's cool.
That was where like what's his name, Chris something who to catch a predator guy. That's where he got started, right? It was a 60 Minutes thing.
Probably. Didn't that guy like end up being a predator or something?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I think he just started his own like channel on YouTube, and
then that's right. That's awful. Right. The Gus Johnson video. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Maybe
which
that's
is an intro to our next guest.
Chris Hansen, everybody.
Which one would you be more excited for, Chris Hansen or Gus Johnson?
Both those names sound very similar. Okay, back on topic. So there's a little bit more to all of this story, and to the extent of this 60 Minutes episode debriefs on, I think, a couple individuals, but there's one in particular that was legitimately assigned to what they call UAF. I think it's like it's UFO effectively. But this individual just kind of talks about all of the work that he's done over the previous years for the government, and the government saying, yes, all of these things are happening. What it really is they just have observed objects that move exceptionally fast on very high-tech radar and like stealth ship type applications where they're able to observe all these types, like just this kind of activity, where things that look like Tic Tacs or that look like they're like ship types that they cannot explain, that don't look like any other type of flying object, or don't look like any other type of like airplane or thing that they're used to, moving with them, away from them, towards them at speeds that mankind has never achieved before in any sort of application, going underwater, coming above water, just moving all around and like fully detecting them. And what really like made my brain go from like, okay, maybe this is just some guy who went a little crazy, to, oh shit, this is like, this isn't just like a, I don't know, kind of a stunt or something, or a distraction, was when they said, this is every day. This isn't a few encounters that happened 10 years ago or 5 years ago or something that just nobody could explain. This is every single day in these people's careers, and they're like out at sea. They recognize, see, expect, observe this activity. And that's what really got me to be like, okay, this isn't just like a random anomaly. This isn't like a random light that was shined in one particular spot at the right moment that caused a reflection that just threw somebody off. Like it is being actively recorded, captured, and observed, and zero explanation. All right, I've got a couple videos. Shut up.
I actually know the guy that you're talking about, and I think I saw him. I think I saw the same one that you're talking about.
Okay. I have like just 6 seconds of a video here, and then I've got another one as well.
Do it.
Cool.
Let's see it.
All right.
This isn't the one. Oh, this is one I saw.
This is one of them. It's, yeah, just a thing. But all right, listen.
Speaking to fighter pilots who reported seeing unidentified flying objects.
Every day for at least a couple of years.
Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence Chris Mellon says sensor technology has improved dramatically over the years, but pilots have reported...
Okay, you're just interrupting the listening experience of our viewers.
For me, it's dead silence.
I know.
Go ahead, continue.
I mean, I'll turn on closed captioning.
There we go. Smart.
Genius.
Yeah.
Okay, this one isn't a video, but it's literally just the guy saying, like,
find flying objects.
Every day for at least a couple of years.
Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense.
The closed captioning is like super, super late, but he's just saying every day for a couple of years. That's all I've done. That's my entire life. That's all I've observed. And the second one is this guy. So this doesn't have closed captioning. So sorry, but I'll explain it after I play it, okay?
Service members. Imagine a technology that can do 600 to 700 G-forces, that can fly at 13,000 miles an hour, that it can evade radar, and that can fly through air and water and possibly space. And, oh, by the way, has no obvious signs of propulsion, no wings, no control surfaces, and yet still can defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity. That's precisely what we're seeing.
Elizondo tells us ATIP was a loose-knit mix of scientists.
So effectively, he's just explaining, like, imagine an object that can do all of these things that literally we've never been able to do as humans ever with any sort of object. Like, not subject to Earth's gravity, not subject to just any, like, he's just kind of walking through. This guy works for the government. This is like what he's doing. And at the very beginning of this, there's another little bit. Let me see.
The story will continue in a moment.
Oh, it says the story will continue in a moment.
So what you're
Now it's
telling
continuing.
me
Now listen.
is that UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real.
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
Luis Elizondo.
He's just saying UFOs are real. That's all.
Yeah. I've actually seen that, both those clips, funny enough. I must have seen most of that episode. So your previous question of have I seen 60 Minutes? Yeah, no, I have seen it. It's my favorite show, apparently. I remember them saying something about like there's no like vapor trail and stuff too, right? Like it's just like moving super, super quick with like no no evidence that it was even there.
Right.
I remember something like that too.
Dude, I'm getting that rash again. I think it's this light.
That's podcast. That's the podcast rash.
I guess it's like permanent. It's a trend.
Everybody gets it.
Yeah.
It goes away after like 8 episodes.
Got it. I mean, obviously, like, whatever it is, if it is alien technology, like, I respect that maybe China has gotten super advanced in something or discovered something that we're not even there yet, or some other country that's like toying with stuff. Technically a possibility, who knows? But if it is aliens, they could have killed literally all of us by now, I'm sure. So, I think you're on our side. Let us know if not. Actually, don't let us know if not. Just make it quick and painless.
+1 to that. Yeah, I mean, it's like, to me, if like 60 Minutes is like putting it on like their channel, it's like, I don't know, it can't be that classified, right? It can't be anything like that insane. Like, so it's gonna be stories, and like I think it's great, and like I personally think that there's at least some form of life out there. I don't know if it's here or if it's light years away, but I would imagine that it would be a little more. I don't know, what was it when, like a couple months ago, when they decided they were like going to declassify it? Was it just like a government thing they decided to just randomly do, or was there something that sparked it?
I think 2.5 years ago, Donald Trump signed something that said by a specific date in 2020, even there's a requirement to declassify a significant amount of documentation by the U.S. government related to like space and other types of exploration. I don't know the specific decree or anything like that. But that generated a kind of a timeline for all of this documentation that had to be released by a set date that got pushed, I think, because of COVID, but ultimately got pushed to this year. And it was like early August or something.
Got it. Was that the Storm Area 51 timeline, or was that unrelated to this?
Probably similar. I don't know. I don't know, but I know that it was like
any of that.
Yeah, it was just kind of a directive that was, hey, all right, release the information.
Got it.
And I don't know what the planet gains or loses with that. But
yeah. I mean, I'm all for transparency there, that's for sure. But I think I don't think that like if there was anything that was like really, really something weird, like I don't think it would have been like shown on 60 Minutes, That's just me though.
What do you mean?
I saw like I don't think that what kind of evidence did you actually get out of that 60 Minutes thing, other than like people saying like, oh no, yeah, they're super real, and like some videos of like, oh yeah, it's more of like the foggy videos that were just like around since the 90s. It's always a blurry video. So it's like, I don't think, it seems weird that like there would be nothing that's like hard evidence if it was like legitimate. Like in the age of right now, everybody's got cameras where everybody has the ability to like film anything at any time. Like it seems weird that we wouldn't have something a little more substantial.
I could explain some theories, but this isn't the avenue
They
for
would
that.
Just be theories.
Maybe we'll put it on our second channel. Deep dive aliens with Josh.
This time, Last Alien. I love it. Speaking of naming things. Oh man, we're getting good. I wanted to use the aliens to go into the Matrix, but
yeah, no, it's supposed to be like, speaking of people going crazy, social media.
Oh, there you go. All right, let's start it over. Everybody, just go ahead and fast forward to 3 seconds from now. Speaking of people going crazy, social media is a thing, right? Have you heard of the Facebook?
No.
Yeah, me either.
All right. Next topic.
I like it. Go ahead.
God, this is such a shit podcast. Okay, so there are, I mean, the gist of this is, and what I want to talk about is, first of all, your hatred for all things social media, general reasoning why, and what you use it for in current state, and then in your mind, what the ideal social media application is.
I'll give you all the thoughts. I think you said general hate for it. I don't know. It's just a waste of time, you know?
Why?
Because it's so boring. It's like, I don't care about what you've chose to put online and for me to look at, for me to read, and I don't really care what you have to think or what you have to say. It's kind of nice for like photos and stuff, but like people just send me those through text, and it's like, it's a little better that way anyway, because it's like they actually wanted me to see it rather than like, you know, I wanted everybody else to see it. So I
realize your explanation for hating it is literally this podcast. Like what we're doing, we're putting something on the internet for other people to consume and listen to what we have to say.
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but it's people are still like choosing to do it, and so like I just choose not to do it. Like I just choose not to be part of that, you know.
But that causes you to hate it. Like, would you? Does that give you justification for somebody else hating this podcast? You think they're justified for that because we're trying to get our opinions out? Just a couple of lame white dudes
entitled. Yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Why would I? Like, I'm not trying to shut like social media down because I dislike it. Like, people love it and people, you know, use it daily. And I just personally think it's a waste of time and energy, and I don't really care for it. I like the one I had was Facebook, and I haven't been on that in probably a year and a half or so. And yeah, like I don't miss it whatsoever. I wasn't really getting anything out of it.
I don't know that we've really gotten to the crux of genuine hatred towards it though, because like people putting their opinion, like that's happens everywhere. Do you just not like listening to what people have to say? Like what do you want to consume?
I'd rather listen to what they have to say than what they've decided to put online, you know?
Can those not be the same thing?
I'm sure they could be, but like when you put something like, if it's just like a photo or something, I'll use you as an example. If you're putting a photo of like the hotel that you stayed in recently, right? Like, sure, that's cool. It's like, oh, I mean, people get to see what kind of hotel you stayed at, but like, I don't know, it's a little more interesting to like hear your opinion on it or something like that in person rather than read it online for everybody else to say like, oh yeah, cool. Like you got to stay in a hotel, you know, like what am I supposed to do with that?
I want you to know my second to last Facebook post was the hotel I stayed at in Las Vegas. I'm not kidding. That's
it. All right, well, let's
genuinely what it is.
Why did you put that on there? What was your purpose for like?
Oh, I just want to flex on people. Hey, people who hated me in 8th grade. Fuck you. Look at this nice hotel I'm staying in.
Like, and you're probably a little bit joking, but there's probably a little bit of like, that's a little bit of why you're doing it.
It certainly like gives into like narcissistic tendencies of humanity, and like it's definitely more leveraged in the sense of not strictly like flexing and stuff, but you know, look at me, look at my life, look at the things I'm doing. Oh, I had a kid. Oh, getting married. Like I would say the majority of content that lives there now, or at least for folks my age, myself, is people. It's life events. It's either life events or it's memes. And I appreciate seeing both of those. I appreciate seeing people that I like kind of know, if you know, have connected with, or have you know, not somebody that I would text or who would text me, people whose phone numbers I don't even have, but it's still like have been in my orbit. They've been in my life. That it's it's cool to see them growing up. It's cool to see them doing different stuff, and I'm happy to engage with it. I'm happy to give it a like. I'm happy to give them the dopamine boost of hey, the thing that you're doing, that's cool. Good job. Keep doing that. Like, it's I know that you're not like a gratification kind of person. Like you don't get the drive for the things that you do based on other people enjoying or liking the fact that you're doing them. But that's what Facebook's predicated on. It gives into that core human element of just dopamine driven feedback loops. I think that's the specific phrase that was either quoted by Mark Zuckerberg or maybe in a movie or something, but that's what it is. It's just a feedback loop. It's here's the thing, look at the thing that my life is that I'm doing in my life. Hope you enjoy it. And if you do, tell me that you do. So it makes me feel a little bit better that I'm doing the things that I should be doing as a human in life. And that's what it is at its core. And I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying that's why it works.
And like that shouldn't be super surprising then, like why I don't buy into
it. That's not where you get your drive.
Yeah, because it's just not that exciting for me. Like I actually keep in contact with like a lot of like even people that I don't like regularly. Like I'll still like text them every few months or something like that. I'm just like, hey, what's up? And like that's more exciting for me because it's a little more like personal and even if like some of the conversations are a little repetitive or whatever, it's still like that's kind of how I get that information. And so like I don't really have a need for social media for that reason. Like people that I like went to high school with and stuff, like sometimes it's like okay or whatever to kind of see it, but like ultimately it's kind of a waste of time. Like I see it as a waste of time because like it doesn't change my day at all, and the things that do change my day are usually for the negative of like somebody posted like an opinion. It's like, okay, cool. Like, why do I care? Like, why do I need to read about that here? Like, I just don't care. Like, just do what you want and leave me out of it. So that's why I choose to not go. Why
I get it.
I choose to not do it.
Like, and I respect it when people don't, and they say like, I don't want to put my life out there. Like, I don't want to expose like what I do on the internet. Who knows how my data is going to be consumed? And there are absolute risks with that. And I totally get it, but I also understand why people do it. It is a massive time sink, but it's also like it keeps a lot of folks going, and to the point where it's like toxic. Don't get me wrong. There are people who like, especially, I don't want to like just sit here and say it's strictly just people of the older generation, but I'd say there are like
it's those oldies.
No, but folks who are a little bit more fragile.
You know who you are.
are a little bit more susceptible to those feedback loops or to that system. And if you can't step away from it, no matter what it is, general rule of thumb in life, if you can't step away from it, it's likely a problem, unless it's something like water. But I don't know.
Or if you're on a floating like lava, like if you're on like a floating log in lava, you don't want to step away from that log. You don't want to step away from the log because you will actually die, and that's not a problem to stay on that log. I just wanted to give you an exception to your example.
Can we just sit in silence for the next 40 minutes?
We can. So I think you wanted to get to what social media would I be on board for? Is that right?
Yeah. Tell me what app or web related thing that has peer-to-peer interaction. So multiple people have to have it for it to work. What's the ideal version? What's the will version?
This can get really funny really fast or really stupid. I don't know which direction it's going to go. Well, I'm trying to think of like, so like TikTok is mostly just like dumb little videos of like, they're like 60 seconds, right? And then Vine was the same thing, but it was like 5-second videos. And like, those are kind of entertaining, but I'm not going to like interact with it. Like, I'd rather like, it'll take still somebody else, me going onto it. So YouTube's probably the closest thing that like I interact with like very, very regularly. So it probably has to be a platform semi-similar to that. But that's still, I want it to be a little more innovative, like I want be the next like cool thing that doesn't exist already. Like we already have a YouTube, so like how could we make YouTube better? I'm going to say that if I could put if it was clips where I could put my head onto like movies that I liked, I think that would be kind of funny to see. And then I could voice over it as well.
Put your head on movies that you like?
Yeah, so like let's say there was a movie that I liked, like we'll take Inception, and then it allowed me to take a photo of myself, and now it's like me running around Inception, and then I could like voice over my like with my own words and stuff in the like on the app. So it'd be like I was in the movie. I think I'd interact with an app that enabled that.
That's not social media, Will.
Why could it be? Why can't other people do it? And then they also join you in the movie for random roles. God, that'd be fun. Wouldn't that be funny? Like, look at, like, take a movie that you like. We'll just go with like the Avengers, you know, because that's, you know, a popular one. Like I put myself in the movie as Iron Man, and then some random dude from high school from 20 years ago is like in the background as like the truck driver that like runs him over or something. Like that would be really funny. And they do their own, and so you have this like collaborative movie that like all of your, you know, friends and or contacts kind of made.
And they actually made, like, you'd have to act little scenes, or is it just let's take your place, or let's take a picture of your face and transform it into the scenes that already exist?
I think it's my face goes into scenes that exist, and you kind of like build up a specific scene, or maybe at some point, if you invest enough time into it, if you're super bored, then you have a full movie that stars yourself and your friends. I think it's kind of smart.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
And the thing that's kind of fun about it is there's like a goal to it, you know, like, because that's everybody's kind of like trying to not make a movie, but they're trying to make like almost a comedy out of it. So yeah, and some could, you know, put more effort into it.
Yeah, how do you influence? Because it sounds like it's just take a picture of your face and push you into a movie.
No, and then you have to do the voiceovers as well. So you have to like,
okay, got it. You need the whole script.
Yeah. Well, no, but you don't have to necessarily use the script. You can make up your own story on the same movie, so it looks like the same movie, but it has like your own lines and your own jokes and stuff.
Who's consuming it? Is it just you? Is it just
all the other people? Well, I mean, it's an awful idea, so it would actually be just me, but ideally it would be everybody that you're like friends with and stuff, you know. And then also, you know, like if it was funny, then it would just kind of naturally make its way up to other people that could see it, kind of like on YouTube, you know, that you could kind of get watches there. Sorry, I dropped my ring.
It's all right. Okay.
You love it?
It's like a C-.
Do you have better ideas, or invest?
I you know, I spent some time like thinking about this.
Weirdly enough, I didn't, and that's the first thing that I came up with. And like a C- isn't bad, honestly, for just coming up with it on the spot.
Like that's like every grade of everything that I ever did was just like on the spot or last minute. So I like it. I want to do something like around cooking. And like, have you ever, I don't know how big into cooking and stuff you are, but like the way recipes are done on the internet now and how recipes are shared by, you know, just different
like
websites.
The 60-second fast ones that
first of all aren't. But second of all, like if you look up recipe for chicken pot stickers, you'll get 600 different results with different random ratings, but all the ratings and the way that they define them and how they work is different by website. There's no like single source of truth on there's no like Amazon of recipes where you have a trusted source of this is the one website I go to or the one app or the one like place I interact so that I can figure out how my peers or people I like or maybe people I'm friends with on other social media apps, like what their recommendations are. because I think recipes and kind of like how you consume food is definitely like very regional. It's definitely like how you grew up. It's probably a lot to do with like the friends and the things that, you know, how like just kind of how you grew up and the people that you interact with and so on. And I feel like people with like taste buds, with like-minded taste buds, also are friends. Like,
that's a great name for it.
Yeah.
Taste buds.
Oh, yes. Dang it. That's good. Oh man.
Dibs.
Okay. That's, you just kicked my ass in that. Okay. So
I thought you were leading into that of like, we're going to be like, oh yeah. Also it should be called taste buds.
That's genius. But with like a single source application that is like you get ratings from friends, you have your primary booklet of recipes that are guaranteed. You know, you start up that app or that thing with like a baseline of really solid recipes that you get from like well-renowned chefs or from other locations. You get people to put in their likes, their preferences, and so on. You start recommending them, and then you start to inject sponsors and people that want to, you know, like want to be part of this. And like you create just like the holistic recipe application that everyone uses. You have your video walkthroughs, you have the exact timing and the differences between all the different oven temperatures and so on. It's like I know that there are companies out there like HelloFresh and just like other ones where they'll deliver food to your door and it's like kind of curated for you. I was never really a big fan of those because it's kind of, they're one-offs. Sometimes they're really good because it's really cheap stuff. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes you're like, man, if I just went to the grocery store, this would have been like a third of the cost. And other times you get all the stuff in the thing and it's going to expire soon. And you're like, I really don't feel like making all this food. So if you just did it as like an application, maybe you could integrate some type of company like that with it too. But also like you can help create grocery lists. Let's connect it to the grocery list that you have, or we could be your system for that. Let's integrate with like the refrigerator technology and the smart world of refrigerators and expose that on like those types of devices. I know a lot of refrigerators have like the kind of smart devices built in now. So yeah, that's kind of my social media idea.
Taste buds. Friend ingredients. Friend ingredients is kind of stupid.
No, stop spitting out other ones because I'm going to try and think of one and you're going to steal it. But I have dibs on. I've got dibs on taste buds.
F that. No way.
No,
video
actually,
evidence of me identifying.
What we're going to do is I'm going to pitch my social media and you're going to pitch your social media idea and then we can see who wins. And mine's called Taste Buds.
Taste buds. What if? Oh no, that doesn't work. I was gonna say, what if we named each other's? But that's not gonna work because you could just name mine something really stupid.
I don't remember what yours is. I completely forget. What was it again?
Oh, come on. It was.
Oh yeah, movies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll think of a great name. I don't have anything yet.
We'll get one. That's fine.
So
can we explain what that is? Because we're talking about it, but we haven't explained to our viewers what we're doing.
Yeah. So what we'll do, I'm gonna have some folks over this weekend. We're gonna be. I already mentioned that like the basketball tournament we would normally do was canceled last week. So they're instead gonna come to my place, and so I'll have a group of like 15 people or so. Which is enough people to be able to like vote on something. And so what we'll do is we'll use that group to decide which social media platform they are more inclined for based on what we've just described here today. We'll have a cool name and a description, and then that's it. And then they'll vote, and I'll come back this time next week with the results.
Do we want to create graphics or no? Is that too much?
Graphics? I mean, yeah. Always. You mean just like a chart?
No.
I mean, what do you mean? You mean like a logo?
Yes.
Graphics that's very vague. I mean, you're welcome to. I'm gonna say that like let's make it optional. And if you do it, then the other one's gonna be like, shit, I gotta go do it because like you're gonna lose, if you don't. So.
All right. I got you. I like it.
They start showing up tomorrow, and I gotta do a lot of stuff. So, but I can't commit to doing a graphic.
Well, while we're on the topic of this weekend event that you have,
yeah,
I think you have one ask here.
Yeah. I just want your help, and I'm not going to give you any points. I'm not just going to give away freebie points like I was doing last willy-nilly. We were trying to figure out food, and I think we've figured it out, but maybe just give an opinion on
You figured it out before this?
It's not, we had to get something in place because we had to have tentative plans, right? So we were just trying to figure out like what kind of dinner to serve, like 15 people. And like for me, I didn't want it to be anything that like you could really mess up very easily. And I wanted to be like somewhat quick as well, because I don't want it to like take away from like actually hanging out with the people and games and stuff. So I was trying to figure out like what's like the best meal that you could serve like a group of like 15 that doesn't like that you don't waste a whole lot of time doing. And that's not hamburgers and hot dogs, because everybody does hamburgers and hot dogs and tacos.
I do, and I did bring an idea to this.
All right, what you got?
But before I do that, I do want to just record something real quick. I am upset. All right, I'm just going to keep that. I am upset. I'm upset that it sounds like you figured this out beforehand. But my idea...
To be very fair, we had like 5 ideas already, and we boiled it down to like what we believe we're going to end up doing, but it's still up in the air. Continue, please.
What I would recommend, actually, this is an idea from Tori's friends. I wasn't even a part of it, but it looked very fun. They actually made it as like an activity where everyone makes their own personal pizza. And you bring the dough, you bring all the ingredients and all the tomato sauce and all the things you want. And everyone creates their own little mini pizza, and you all cook it in the oven as long as you want and everything, and everybody kind of rotates through, and then you test it, you see who's is best, and you kind of vote who's is best, and you just kind of make it a whole thing, and everybody gets fed as part of the activity, and it's kind of like a little fun mini competition thing.
Is it posted on Taste Buds?
And then you post it to your friends on Taste Buds.
Okay, so there's a lot of things that are funny with this, and if Taryn's watching, and she will at some point, she's like laughing because this was one of the suggestions that she had.
Oh, is it really?
And it's funny because like one of the other stipulations that we had of like, well, let's make it something that we've like done before, so that way there's not like a lot of guesswork, and so she was like, well, what about like pizzas, like we could do like I don't think she said personal pizzas, but I think it was like homemade pizzas is what the suggestion was. And I was like, we've never done that before though, so like why would we
is this like the two of you just making a couple of them and feeding people those? Or would you actually make an activity where everybody comes and makes their own pizza, and it's like
that would have been different. Yeah, we weren't going to make an event out of whatever the food was. It was just going to be there. So it's definitely different. But it was just funny that like that was one of the suggestions was like us doing pizzas. But like, because that's the other thing too. It's like it is nice when you can kind of let people make their own whatever it is, sandwiches, tacos, stuff like that, because you have to assume a lot of things if you just kind of make one thing. Like you have to assume that everybody's got the same likes and dietary restrictions and stuff.
That's what makes it great.
I know. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying it's a good idea for that. That's why I like it.
Oh.
We're not going to do it.
I was like listening for half of it, so I just assumed you meant.
No, I was saying, yeah, that's the good part of it as well. Like that's also the benefit of doing.
What was the negative again? I didn't catch the negative.
I don't know. There's not really like a huge negative. It's just that we haven't done it before, and so I wanted it to be something that we can like just kind of do quickly.
Okay, I like how you at the beginning of this you said not hamburgers and hot dogs because that's what everyone does, and you've likely done that before.
A lot. Yeah, I'm bored of him.
But your constraint of this decision was that you don't want to do it because it's not something you've done a lot.
Correct. Those are two different characteristics.
I'm going to hit the button again.
What we landed on was kind of like teriyaki chicken. We're going to do like short ribs and a lot of other stuff. My friend's made it before, and so he's going to do probably the vast majority of it, but I'm going to do the chicken. But it should be great. I don't think we ever had like, a giant like Asian as a group before, so that'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
And I've done the chicken before, but
Okay.
I like the pizza idea overall. Like that would be we used to. Do
I
that,
just
like,
thought I was going to
at my
influence your
mom's.
weekend in some kind of way.
Yeah. No, we used to do that as kids. Like my mom used to do that, and we would make her own pizzas. She's even done it probably in the last couple of years too, and it's always kind of fun.
Cool. Well, that was a worthless topic.
Anyway, have you been watching the YouTube lately?
What's that?
The YouTube. Let's talk about it just because it came out today. So
You realize you just did that with the Facebook, right? You did the
Yeah, I
exact
did.
same thing. Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
going to do it with everything. So The Matrix. Have you heard of The Matrix? The Matrix. Have you ever seen you've seen The Matrix, right?
Yes.
Did you love it? I feel like you don't like it. you loved
The
it.
first one I loved, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
obviously we were young, but
2
I
and
did
3
enjoy
are
it.
crap.
Yeah.
It still holds up. 1999 one's still good.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
And
been a while.
actually, the second one is not as bad as I remembered it either. Like I watched it in the
That was
last
Reloaded?
few years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the last one was Revolutions.
Wasn't the last one like really long or something?
It was really long and
Yeah.
really awful. All I remember was robots like fighting each other for 3 hours, and I was
Yeah.
like, "This is the stupidest movie of all time."
Sure. Like, what is this,
but-
Lord of the Rings? God.
Yeah, which is a movie I've never seen before.
Same. I mean, I sat and I just fell asleep.
Mm.
I hope we get a lot of hate for that, but go ahead.
Me too. The Matrix 4 Resurrection. They've announced that they were doing a fourth Matrix probably a year ago, maybe
remember
even
that.
longer.
Yeah.
And so they did the trailer for it came out this morning. They had kind of a cool like I don't know, 1 day, 2 days leading up to it. They were putting out a YouTube video like every single hour, and it was like a 46 second like mini trailer just with like really fast clips of the movie, and it was kind of I haven't seen anybody kind of like take that approach before, and it just kind of like got people jazzed for it. But the trailer looks pretty cool. Like I don't know, I like the first one. It does not look like it's it looks like they're doing something different, like it's like a different Matrix or something. I don't remember the details of the like second and third enough to like know where it would fit into it, but it doesn't look like it's still got Keanu, it's still got Carrie-Anne Moss, and they're like clearly playing their like people before, but it almost looks like it's in like an alternate universe or something.
Oh, okay, that's what I was gonna ask, if it was all the same people and stuff.
Yeah, it's like I think it's mostly just them. I don't know if like the guy is clearly intent to like look like Morpheus, like he has like the same glasses and same.
I was gonna
wardrobe and
ask if
everything.
those freaking glasses
But-
stuck. Like that was gonna
So
be that was my question.
I think it's like we don't know, like they're not giving it away. It's probably supposed to be like him or something, but it looks pretty cool. Like it's like kind of neat just to see like what that movie looks like with today's effects, you know, and like it's not like super far off. It's just like super sharp and super clean compared to what it was, you know, in 1999. So it's kind of cool. I don't know, it's got me a little bit excited. Like I like the second and third one were not good, but like I'm definitely gonna watch it, no doubt about it.
Sure. Yeah, like the alternate universe is a great scapegoat, right? We're in an alternate universe. That's why the characters are different.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fantastic. As like
Yeah, Marvel's
easy to
been-
pitch. Yeah.
Marvel's like executing that right now with everything they got, but who knows? Like I don't know the details too, right? Like I'm sure at some point there'll be a realization that you know it's like a new Matrix or something like that, and they'll have memories of the old one because there were clips from like the old movie in the like trailers leading up to it, but
Interesting.
but
Yeah, I'll watch
looks
it.
kinda
I'll for
cool.
sure check
Me
it out.
too. I think
Yeah.
it comes out around Christmas time.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Well, should we move on? Oh man, I forgot. Okay, I don't have a good way to. Speaking of hilarious things, we're gonna name our top. We'll do our top whatever. It's top 2 today. Funniest moments of all time. Completely random.
Of all time, kind of like I'd really have to sit and think. I would need a couple.
I would too.
Yeah.
And I can't
I don't wanna-
commit that these are them. These are just ones that I can like think of offhand of like times where I thought, oh, I like laughed really, really hard.
Same.
I'll start it off if you're all right with that.
I would love for that to happen.
So, this was probably like late 90s, early 2000s. I was at my friend's house. We were playing Super Nintendo. It was a game called Vegas Stakes. It was basically just like, you play poker or blackjack and all that. And at the beginning of every single game, you had to like character and then like name a company or something. I might be mixing some of the details up, but that's okay. And so one of us would always like, it was whoever the first person to go was, figured out like, you're going to put your real last name, right? Because if if I went first, I'd put like, Mr. Colborn, and then he would go, and then he would put Mr. Dollar Signs, and it would piss me off because, that's like a cooler name and it means he was going to be richer. It was just a dumb thing that you would do as, 12-year-old kids. So at one point we went through that. We finally got through the like noise of naming our guys, and we had to like name the company. And whatever you name the company, similar to like the naming convention of like Mr. Whatever, it would be blank incorporated. And so we were trying to figure out what to name this company. And I don't remember who it was. I'm going to say it was me, but I just thought it was like, we just said Schwink, like Schwink Inc. And it rhymed. And it made no sense whatsoever. And we laughed for about 6 straight minutes before we actually moved into like playing the game because it was so funny. And then we talked about that for probably the next 2 years or so of just schwinking. And it just became like a stupid inside joke.
How old were you?
Like 12,
okay.
Maximum 12, probably like 10. But yeah, it was the stupidest thing of all time.
Wow. And you're still friends?
No, I mean, we're still like I actually saw him like kind of recently, but we haven't like hung out.
Got it.
He was awesome. His whole family was great. So if
do you still find this funny? Like, do you wake up and you're like, Schwink Inc. Oh my God, it was so funny.
I find it funny that we thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
And the fact that I like remember like today, right? Of like, why were we laughing at that? It's so dumb. So that's one of mine.
Okay. I dig it.
You're next.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go back and forth. Schwink Inc. I like it. Okay. Mine is also a childhood story. Maybe this is a recurring theme. We'll find out. Are you changing your next one?
I just remembered one. I just remembered one.
I literally just remembered one as you were explaining that story. Okay. This is my original one though. So as a child, are you familiar with children? I lived in a cul-de-sac. This was 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, so kind of pre-internet era. Our cell phones strictly did text messages, and they cost money to do. So wasn't a lot of like digital interaction with folks quite yet. And so all the kids in my cul-de-sac, we all kind of grew up around plus or minus 1 or 2 years, stuff like that. So we got in shenanigans. We got in trouble quite a bit, as kids do. But behind our house the way our house is laid out is we have the home, and then you have our backyard, and then some railroad tracks. And so you have railroad tracks that kind of flank the neighborhood. That we were like, our house is in the very back of the neighborhood, and there were just railroad tracks that go all the way across. This is general suburb land. We lived in a cul-de-sac, like just kind of generic life. And then behind the railroad tracks is a golf course. So backyard, railroad tracks, golf course. As friends, we used to always go on the railroad tracks. It was like the place we hung out. We're old enough. We're 12, 14. We like know that, hey, train coming. Don't be on railroad track when train comes. So we like, I guess our parents weren't like that crazy or freaked out about it. Honestly, they should have been. But we used to do just a lot of dumb shit. We used to do things like, put the quarter or the penny on the railroad track, or put the, stick over the front before a train comes, or let's build like a little fort out on the side on one of the little ridges of the railroad track, or let's, just throw rocks and do some dumb stuff the kids do. There was one night where I was staying at a friend's house, and he wasn't part of the cul-de-sac, but he was like 3 houses down, and we were hanging out. We were like, I don't know, jumping on his trampoline. I don't think his parents were home or anything, but we're old enough that it wasn't like a big deal. And we had this idea to create our first Molotov cocktail. Are you familiar with Molotov cocktails and what they are? All right. So for the audience, if you're not aware,
Grand Theft Auto.
it is you pour what is effectively gasoline. I think ours was acetone or something, but you pour gasoline inside of a bottle. Then you put a piece of cloth or paper towel or something in there, and you light the end of the paper towel so you know that that part's lit. If you take this filled with gasoline or filled with whatever and you throw it, and then it breaks, all of the gasoline lights on fire, and it makes kind of a pretty cool fireball. And we're 12 to 13-year-old. Like, we used to do stuff all the time. We used to do the like the drain cleaner and aluminum balls inside of a 2-liter to effectively make a bomb. Have you done that? No. Okay. Well, that's also a thing you can do. That's another story. This is, and keep in mind, this is a story that at the time was not funny. Wasn't funny. I only laugh at it as an adult because of how insane of a situation. But it was late. It was dark. And we just decided to walk back onto not the railroad tracks because we thought that was too close to things going on and people would see it. So we walked to the golf course where it was dark. So we know that everybody's like gone. There shouldn't be anything going on. And we take a few steps down, and on the path that the golf carts drive on, took our Molotov cocktail, lit it, and just launched the shit at like as far as we could, and it hit the ground, and it just made this massive fireball, like 3 times bigger than we ever expected, of just what was effectively an explosion on the golf course. And it was nighttime, so it was just spectacular. And this crazy thing, and we just ran home, thought it was like the funniest thing that had ever happened. So apparently, I wasn't there for this, but my dad saw that in the backyard. He observed the fireball because we did throw it towards where our house was, or back behind. I guess we didn't realize how large it was going to be. And he saw it happen. He thought there was a massive fire occurring behind the railroad tracks and absolutely panicked to go and try and put it out, to go do whatever he could to, help stop the fire or whatever that was going on. And in this panic, he started to sprint towards it. And railroad tracks, the way they're done is you have rocks as like kind of the base, like a large amount of rocks, and then you have the railroad ties, and then you have the rails that go across. So there's kind of a hill, like you go down and you go up and across the railroad tracks and then down a little bit and then back up. And it's like flanked with hills on either side. It's like a kind of a W shape. And he starts sprinting over there and apparently trips over the railroad track and absolutely busts the shit out of his face. Destroyed, like messed up his nose, messed up his eye, like messed up his forehead, like pulled some of his eyebrow off. It just busted his face in his sprint towards this. I wasn't part of that. I didn't know that any of that happened. And I come home the next day thinking, all right, I'm back. Just thought everything was fine. And I come in and I see my dad with just like stitches and with cloth and Band-Aids just like all over his face. And like he's looking at me pissed. He didn't know that I did this. He didn't know anything about the fact that like this was me and my friend at the time. But parents, they get like an inkling. They get like a, was my kid behind this? It's possible my kid was behind this. And so I got probed a little bit, not physically, but I got your face.
This is hilarious.
Shut up. Stop it. No, he was just like, hey, did you do anything on the railroad tracks last night? What do you mean, Dad? Did you were you doing anything with friends on the railroad tracks or anything at all? No idea what you're talking about. It's like, oh, well, and he explained the whole scenario to me and the whole situation. And then my sister comes along and is like, you realize Dad absolutely like got mauled last night trying to go put out a fire back there. I was like, oh, wow, what happened? That's crazy.
I've never heard of fire. What's fire?
And like, I'm convinced this whole situation was like the catalyst for my parents' divorce because so it's hilarious.
Funnier by the second.
Because
they got pro. My dad's face is busted. Then they got divorced. All right. So that's the funny stuff.
That's why I'm saying it's funny now. So my dad just ends up becoming convinced that it was me. I don't know why. I never said anything. I lied straight to his face, just constantly, like just absolutely lied about the fact that it wasn't me, or that I had no idea what he was talking about. And he was trying very hard to get it, like, to just like, I am certain you did this, son. I don't have any proof. I didn't see anything, but for whatever reason, I just know it was you. And my mom like steps in and is like, hey, yo, you don't have any proof? You don't have any way of saying that, you know, our son did this, that Josh did this? You don't have any, like, come on, like the, you know, you can't just do it based on a feeling, even though he's 100% correct. And so like that took all of the anger and everything and just kind of bundled it up across the parents, and I was fine. Nothing ever happened to me. Until like, I don't know, 4 months ago when I told my dad that it was me.
September 9th, 2021, when I mentioned it on the podcast and they were watching.
No, I came clean May 31st of 2021.
What was his reaction?
You know, yeah, I gave him a few beers.
He's like, I knew it.
No, I think he knew the whole time.
Yeah, it's like a room in his house with all the strings and photos and stuff. He's been like, I knew it.
Yeah. So, the funniest moment of my life is when I caused my parents to get divorced.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. It wasn't a catalyst, I don't think. But it's just, yeah. There you go.
Well, there you go. I like it. That is very different than my second example here.
Good.
This is the same guy that Schwink Inc. Occurred with. We were all hanging out outside. It was me, him, then like a friend. It was like a family friend of theirs. He was the same age as us, and we were all sitting on. They had like a rocking swing thing. It was just like the bench, you know. So we were just kind of sitting on the bench. And it was like super, super quiet for like, I don't know, probably a full minute or so. And all of a sudden my friend says, hey, do you guys want to squeeze it? And me and the other guy are like, what are you talking about? We were like, we started busting up, and he was asking if we wanted the drink squeeze it. Remember the Kool-Aid?
Oh,
like,
yes.
They used to have
With
another one that was squeeze it.
Yeah.
So there was the Kool-Aid ones. Those ones were trash. I hated them. The ones that were called squeeze-its were good. Like those are the ones that you always got.
It was just pure sugar. Just directly into your veins.
Oh god, they were great. Yeah.
Did you ever chew on the little cap too? The little plastic.
I didn't chew on the cap. I chewed on the top though. Like,
yeah, that's what I meant. The top too.
Not the twist top, but like the top of the actual. Well, sorry, the top of the actual like bottle. But
yeah, because it's like a nipple. It's like an oral fixation thing.
I guess I would just bite it though, so I don't remember doing that with nipples. But anyway, it was absolutely hilarious. He was just like. He's just randomly,
y'all want to squeeze it?
You guys want to squeeze it? And I was like, yeah. No. It was, yeah, we laughed about that for years, like legitimately.
Mm-hmm.
It was years, but we always referred to that. It was really funny.
Yikes. That's good. You guys just find really dumb things to laugh about.
Yep.
And you continue laughing about it. Honestly, there's a picture of a really dumb thing in here that we're laughing about that's really stupid. So
it's not good to share.
I know.
It's the later one.
That's fine. We'll share it
later one.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay. My second one that I brought to the table is actually just a meme. And I don't really know how to share this with you.
I hope this is a cheeseburgers. I'm gonna lose my mind.
It's not, but it should be.
Whoppers.
Yeah. I'll have 5 Whoppers and 5 more Whoppers. Funny, one of the funniest vines of all time. I should have absolutely brought that, and it's not a vine; it's a TikTok. But great, look it up, share it with your friends. It's great.
Don't look it up; it's awful.
But maybe I just link this to you. Can I do that?
So I can hear it. Yeah, do it.
Is that a process? I will also play it for our viewers. Viewers are gonna have like a weird layout for your face for a second, but I'll paste it to you. Okay, you're back. And now I'm going to play this for our viewers.
I'm falling.
So I'm taking my time on my ride.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
That's pretty funny.
That's the meme I
top
brought.
3. It's funny. Don't get me wrong. I do like.
First of all, we did top 2. Second of all, it was when we first brought this up as like a topic we want to bring up. It was just the first thing that came to mind. It's an old Vine that was actually only originally like 6 seconds long. It was like a shorter version of that. That it's hilarious because it's actually perfect. I don't know. I was a 21 I'm a 21 Pilots fan. I like 21 Pilots. But the song, like,
I just like 18 of them. I don't like all 21.
So it's just funny because the lady's just like, I'm falling, and like I don't know, it makes me laugh because it's about like I'm taking my time on my ride and then just going up and down I'm just explaining the meme, but it caught me off guard the very first time I watched it. I'll tell you that now watching it, yes, I find it funny, but just the very first time I saw that, I wish I could experience the laughter that I had at that moment again, and that's why for me it was like one of the funniest moments.
The guy coming up the thing, his face is my favorite part for sure.
And that wasn't even part of the original meme. The first time I experienced that meme, he wasn't in there. But it's just
that's pretty funny
because it just goes with the song. I don't know. I love it.
I love it.
Okay. Well,
hypotheticals.
We have one more hypothetical. You're absolutely right. Oh, do we want to explain? I don't know, your general lack of preparation. And no. I don't mean the hemorrhoid cream.
No, we don't. We want to talk about the hypotheticals.
Okay, understood. We're skipping the small town news story. All right.
It was too hot for the
it requires so much work.
Yeah.
And let's just say that like big news is behind the lack of updates this time around. That's all I can say. That's all I'm elected to say. Actually, I probably said too much, but there might be a conspiracy going on. Okay.
Hypotheticals.
Hit me with it.
This is it. You get to take one of the standard, I guess it's like the
hotkeys.
Hotkey options in Windows, and it's the cut, copy, or paste. There's probably other ones, and I can't.
There are a whole bunch of other ones.
Yeah, I know there's others, but like I'm thinking of those core 3. If you can come up with one that's like accept I'll either accept
all
or deny
F4 is what I want.
You can pull up the Windows key. I can pull up the menu at any time. You get to you get to implement cut, copy, or paste into your life, and you just get to do any of those things with anything at any given point in time. Basically, as a superpower, kind of like the magician stuff before.
Not undo and redo. Related. Control Z.
Yeah, you can Control Z. That's on there too, and redo.
What about print screen?
I thought about that. I almost did print, just Control P, which is just printing a document. You just print things out of your butt.
Well, print screen, I think that's just like photographing memory. I press that button and now I lock what's going on.
Right. I like it. That's in. Yeah. Okay. Delete's in there too. Why not? Either way, you get to have one of these things. Which one do you pick?
What about Control F? What about find?
Yeah, the application being like
I'm searching for something. I lost my keys. I would like Control F. I would like to Control F for my keys, please.
Yeah, you can have it. It's yours. That's an option.
I think I want Control F.
Really? That's what you go with?
I think that's what I want. And it's not just to find my keys, but to be able to find. Now, can it apply on like a knowledge level? Or is it only physical things?
You like type an idiot and like I blink on the screen. You're like, yeah, I found him. What's your situation? You're trying to like? Are you trying to
say like I want knowledge? Like I want to know what happened in I don't know, somebody murdered somebody, and I'm curious about what happened. Where's the evidence? Control F. Evidence for this murder.
So I would say that wouldn't make sense anyway, because what would happen is you would look for that, and if there was no evidence around, it would say 0 results found.
But that's information. That tells me that like they died of natural causes.
But that also means that maybe there's just nothing. Like, to me, it would almost be like in your surroundings. Like, do you find anything that would give evidence to it in your surroundings? So I'm gonna say
it's only in
things.
it's physical things in your surroundings.
Yeah.
What's the radius?
What's in your view? So if you're looking out, if you're looking,
well, then
down,
I don't
like,
want Control F then. No.
I mean, but if you can get high enough, then.
What do you mean high enough?
Physically high.
Like
physically
marijuana?
high enough. Physically high enough.
Oh,
and you're looking
so
down.
if I'm in space and I'm looking down and I Control F,
it's gonna be this tiny little dot.
just like
but yeah.
the murder weapon of XYZ. You know, the murder weapon of that killed Will.
But like you're assuming that information's known. I guess it would be known by, but like if nobody else knew it, then I don't think you could search it.
Oh, well, then that defeats the whole purpose.
I mean, tell me I'm wrong. I'm not making the rules here. This is just completely hypothetical.
Okay, what do you mean it's completely hypothetical? I thought this was real. No, I redact my answer, given that you've clarified many things with the rules here that you've made up on your own. Undo. Give me Control Z.
I know. I'm like on the fence between that one and copy. Oh wait, no. If you can't, there's no point though of like copying without pasting though. Yeah, but does copy do anything?
Can we
just
assume that
it also pastes?
C and P, yeah.
It just does a straight up copy. That's a pretty good one though.
Yeah. I undo for sure.
Though, too.
Like undo.
Yeah.
What's the time horizon for undo? Like, do I decide when I press Control Z?
I don't know. It's 8 seconds.
Okay, so I can only undo 8 seconds.
It's the last thing. Though.
Can I
like,
keep hitting it? Can I go
action.
8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds, like, and continue to go back?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, bring it on. I'll do it.
I know. It would be funny to just like punch a random person and then like undo it and then just walk by and you're just like, that was funny.
Yeah.
That is one that I always thought would be like, there's so many things that I would like to see like that. That's probably the best one. And I think I would also go with Control Z.
Control Z would be for like situations like what would happen right now if I just actually punch this person in the face?
Yeah.
Let's live through it. Oh, well, that didn't go the way I expected. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a wildly useful one.
Yeah.
It's the most effective. I agree. All right, Control Z.
You got to think of better hypotheticals. You can't think of them on the spot like that.
I thought that one was great.
I mean, it's great. About? I don't know.
That one's amazing.
Give it a better application of it. Yeah. All right.
There wasn't enough controversy. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Because it was almost too easy. I could have almost said we could have just said, okay, what's our second favorite one?
Yeah.
Print screen.
I like print screen. That's photographic memory. I like it. I do it. Granted, we have phones now. We just print screen all day long already.
Yeah.
But
this next section I've been trying to avoid.
Why is that? Oh, I know why.
Dang it.
Let's move on to the next section.
Dang it. Some crap.
So we have predictions to review. Firstly, last week's predictions and their results. So if viewers recall, I'm falling. If viewers recall, last week we predicted on how many views the Tesla bot video that Will put together. It was a wonderful application of kind of a rethink on the small town news story, which wasn't a small town news story at all, but we're going to call it Willie McWill time with Will Ventures. And we just wanted to predict how many views would happen by the start of this episode. Will, do you mind reminding us how many views maybe you thought were going to happen?
I thought that by this time this week it would have 69 views.
69 views. I thought my prediction was 47, and we said 1 point goes to the individual that was the closest to that prediction, and 3 points if that prediction was the exact number of views. We also stipulated that we wouldn't influence that number by refreshing our YouTube pages on our own, other than in the ability to share with friends. as we normally do. So if I go to the video, we will see that the video presently has 27 views. This is what I loaded at the beginning of the stream.
Boo.
Boo. So, prior to this, Josh and Will, I had 4 points. Will had 3 points. And I'm pretty sure that 47 is closer to 27 than 69 is. So
Nah.
I will get 1 point. Boo, boo, boo. And now the score is 5-3.
Just getting killed. Did I get all 3 of my points in one day?
I think it was. Maybe it was.
Yeah,
maybe it was 2 on 1. Yeah, I don't know.
No, you might be right. No, I think I got
because you got
it
a
was
point
2 to
from the
1.
Vegas stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Next week.
What
are we going to cover next week? We have a new prediction.
We do have a new prediction. We kind of talked about it already. But really, you want to run me through what your plan is, what you're going to do?
Yeah. So with all the people that are going to be at weekend, I'm going to have them vote on the favorite social media application that you and I have come up. I will not give them any more info in any way of like whose is like, who, like which one was yours, which one was mine. I'm pretty sure if I did that, it would work against me anyway, and they would just be like, I'm not going to pick Will's, and they would pick yours. So that would be like,
your friends don't like me as much as like they don't like you, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like they hate you less than they hate me.
Yeah.
So I would lose that for sure. So either way, it's going to be I'll put it up to a vote.
Like a blind.
I will be here this weekend. Yeah, it'll be as blind as we can make it. We'll do our descriptions. We'll do what the name of it. And you have a great name. I'll give you that one. But Taste Buds, that's just solid.
It's really
I gotta
good.
Figure a name out for mine.
It's probably already out there, if I'm being honest.
I think I get a half point for it, for recognizing that.
Recognizing?
Anyway, recognizing. So we will come back this week with who got more votes, and it's just gonna be you get a point for who won more.
Oh, Taste Buds is a actually, first of all, when I Google Taste Buds app, it says Taste Buds, meet new people, discover new music. Like music taste.
Boo.
Yeah. Taste Buds, music dating on the App Store. That's actually that's a pretty good freaking idea. Like dating people based on music interests.
I mean, I guess
that's pretty good.
Is music like a really important attribute? I guess.
I mean, it gives you a point of conversation. You'll say probably people who have similar tastes, sort of, kind of similar, maybe not similar upbringing, but my guess is they share some other common interests for the most part. Except people who are like John Mellencamp fans. Like that's just, I don't know.
Nobody likes them. Nobody hates Mellencamp.
I'm just kidding. I don't think I've ever actually like.
I don't know a single John Mellencamp song.
Just thought of the first like random like popular. Yeah. Oh well, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, well,
I'm like a diehard John Mellencamp fan. Closing compliments.
We're an hour and a half in.
Do I
as
start
always.
us off?
Sure. Do it. Do the thing. Hold on.
Remember.
Before you start us off, I am upset. Go ahead. Make me happy.
My closing compliment. Josh, you have responded exceptionally well to the feedback that's been provided over the course of these podcasts.
Ooh.
And I would like to commend you for that.
Do you want to specify the feedback?
Yeah, I think like there was a couple. I think one of them was like your general happiness. I think like episode 2 or something, like I hate you, I hate everything, and I don't. It's not even that you did. It's just like that's how it looked. And so by like the next one, it was corrected. And then I think the feedback of the rambling. I mean, I'll have to watch, but that was the other one. So I commend you for your responses to it.
Every once in a while, your mic will just like literally. I actually don't even think it's connection. It just it won't hear what you're saying, and so like you'll just be on a sentence, and it's like it's specifically avoiding like the key point of your sentence every time. And
I do it I do it when I'm doing the compliments because I want it.
Just shutting off.
Like, Josh, I just want to let you know that, and it's great. So good job.
Good job. Honestly, that was pretty much exactly how that went.
I'll summarize my compliment. It was responses to feedback.
Yeah,
you've done well.
Appreciate it.
Continue to do it.
I'm a big feedback guy. Give me the feedback. I'll do it. I'll change. Well, if it makes sense. If it's bullshit, if it's things like you should like John Mellencamp, then nah. But
what was my famous quote on feedback? I'm open to feedback, but
I'm unwilling to make changes. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. That's a great quote.
That's good.
That's my own.
That's my own.
Will,
I
think
that.
You're super. I think you're super humble. That's the compliment. I think I'm humble too.
Will, my compliment to you this week is you look pretty good in hats. You wear hats well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Got a good hat thing going on.
It's the 5th episode, you know. I mean, it's tradition. We gotta.
I'm excited. I'm excited every 5 weeks to see you in a hat. It's gonna make me happy.
Great. What a stupid tradition. Like, there's no reason for that at all.
We are not gonna remember that. We're gonna be episode 10, and there are gonna be no hats.
Oh man. Well, I tip my hat to your compliment. Heyo.
I'm not upset by that. I'm very happy.
Good. I should add a hat to the logo on the 5th episode. So that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, like little hats on the the E and the T on the this and the time.
Yeah. It'd
be good.
I'd like it. I want to do it. I'm gonna figure it out. That's funny. It's so stupid. Makes no sense.
All right, y'all. Well, we had fun. Good chatting with you for 90 minutes.
You as well.
And I'm excited to see how Pizza Time goes with your friends, and us kicking off our Taste Buds app. That's going to be better than the current Taste Buds app.
I agree.
It's probably trademarked, but we'll think of something else. Taste Buds squared.
Taste Buds good. I still like friend ingredients isn't awful.
Friend ingredients.
But Taste Buds is better.
Yeah, it is. All right.